Todd and Sherry Ellsbury are hog farmers from North Pole. They bought the meat plant here in Palmer a little over a year ago. They brought me in to manage the plant for them. I go on a pretty simple, basic plan with this plant. Everybody knows what the problem is with food security. We've all been over that. Our plan to help with that is to move as many animals off of Alaska farms through a process and get to as many Alaska consumers as possible. The best way we find to do that with the red meat is through the packing house. We'll buy live animals that come in from the farmers in Alaska. We'll run them through the process. We'll put them in a box. We get them to grocery stores and restaurants here in the state. We've been doing that now, and on a small basis for the last year, it works. It's going to work better as we go. Pardon me?
How quickly can you do it?
How quickly can I move what?
How, you get animals and then how quickly you're getting into the store.
So what happens is the meat that comes up from the lower 48 will go through basically the same process we're doing. But the meat from the lower 48 will have 2 to 3 weeks it'll be in that box from the time it leaves the packing house till it goes through the distribution system, comes on transportation, and gets here to the stores in Alaska. Put it in the same box. Makes a huge difference. You have a fresher product at the grocery store to buy. The grocery stores have a longer shelf life on that product. The meat that comes from the lower 48 up, it gets in these grocery stores right now. They have a short window, a short week, and they need to get that meat moved, or it's going to spoil. We get that meat to them anywhere roughly 2 weeks earlier and fresher. They can hold that meat a little longer. They can stretch it out. It gives them more options. They have less waste. Less waste is always good in money. So tell me what you want to know. How do we scale that? It takes Alaska farmers. You don't have to have large corporate farms like they do in the lower 48. Todd and Sherry have probably the largest hog farm here in the state. They are in the process right now ramping their program up to 200 farrowing sows a year. Todd and Sherry's on the deal with 1,600 sows to produce the pork we needed here. Within the next year, they will be up to that 200 sows. That's going to roughly, rough numbers, that's going to put 100 fat hogs a week into this plant. Right now, we run into 3 Bears in most of their stores here in the valley. UCI is taking some of their product. We have a few restaurants in Anchorage that they can work with here and there. We have small numbers right now we're working with. Everybody's been great to work with us. They're looking for bigger, more volume. We do not sell retail at the plant. Everything goes out of wholesale. All we do retail is we do some testing examples. We raise animals in your backyard. We slaughter them, cut and wrap them for you. Other than that, we don't do any retail. We focus on the wholesale. So our program's in place, it's working. So what it does to Alaska farmers, and what that means is raise more animals on your farm. Do what you're doing on your marketing now. Most of you farmers that I've been around, talked to, dealt with, they sell direct to the consumers right now, which is great. Keep doing that. But raise more than what you need. If you have 10 customers, you can do that. Raise 20 beef next year. Raise 20 hogs, raise more of them, and sell some to the plant. Then the plant can run them through the process. Quality meat is quality meat. It doesn't matter where it comes from. I can run it through the process. Our plant is USDA inspected. I have more paperwork and more plans in there to make sure that that stuff's healthy and clean than you can imagine. I won't. That's a whole day's project on its own. But it's all there, and it's all 100% right. We have USDA inspectors in there every day to make sure that we do it right. So what we're doing moving forward, yes, ma'am. The majority of the pork right now is coming from the Ellsbury Farm in North Pole. There's not a lot, because of where we're at in the program and getting started with this, most farmers aren't geared to sell on a commercial basis this way. So I'm not getting a whole lot bought. I get a few hogs bought here and there, a few beef here and there. I have some farmers we've been working with the last year that are moving their program up. They're moving ahead. They're looking at it and they're seeing it as a marketing tool. They're seeing it as a place to get rid of. But it takes time. It takes time to grow animals. It takes time to grow your numbers. So it is coming. There is some farmers that have been selling a few here and there, but it is coming along. In the next year, it's going to be even more, and I look for that to grow.
So if a young farmer was just starting out and they wanted to have you as their customer, what's the ideal delivery size to you, the number of animals to be most profitable for you and for that person?
Myself, on the packing house end of it, I can deal with anything from one to however many.
So, I mean,
But for them to raise them, it's going to depend on the scale of their operation, how their input costs are. I manage ranches in the lower 48. It's the same idea, what you're doing with your chickens. You've got to figure out the size of your operation, your input cost, how many animals do you have to produce at that to make all of that come out financially where you want to be. And that's going to be different on every farm. Our meat that's going like the Three Bears, we make up a small label that I buy and or the company buys and we give to the grocery stores, and it looks exactly, that is that label right there. And it'll be a small 1-inch by 2-inch label. The meat that goes to Three Bears, it has Three Bears grocery store label on it like you'd see with your price and weight and everything, but it'll have this sticker on it right there as well. And then there'll be some placards and cards that are on there. They have all of that stuff. They're waiting. We're getting back into pork. We had a little lull in the pork at the farm. We're getting back into it now. I've got more coming, more coming. They're going to see it more and more now in the Three Bear stores here in the valley. Yep. And it's the same as anything else. When you go to the store, if they don't have it, ask for it. The more people that ask for it, tell them, I want Alaska grown meat. Alaska Meat Packers over here producing beef and pork. Why isn't it in the store right here? If you people start asking for it, the consumers ask for it and say, I want that, then they're going to turn around, they're going to call me because they don't want you to walk out of the store without buying something. So they're going to call me. We're going to figure something out with them.
So we own a restaurant, and we can buy your pork. Is it possible to buy directly from you in our restaurant?
If you're a restaurant, yes, you can buy directly from us. We sell on a wholesale basis. There's no minimum quantity to it. It is wholesale cuts, primals, so you'll have to further process it from there. But our goal is to sell to the grocery stores and to the restaurants, let them do the further processing on it and sell to the end user. It is just part of the whole cycle in the chain. And the whole thing we look at when we see this is this big ripple effect. We have a place where we can buy animals off the farm, get them through the process. This dollars stay here in Alaska. It makes the farms better. It produces more income for the farms, different marketing techniques, different avenues of marketing. The farms make more money. They spend more money. Feed, groceries, hired help, so on and so forth. It all makes a big circle, and it stays here in Alaska and goes. So what we're going to do at the plant to move forward with that is I've been dealing with manufacturing company that manufactures equipment. We're going to put some equipment in this plant in the next year or two. It's going to speed up production, which is going to up our volume in that plant. The sky's the limit of how much, not the sky, but we can go a long ways. With the facility we have, technology the way it is, the research I've been doing, talking with the manufacturer, the companies, they've been in the plant. We've laid out some plans. Right now, we're looking at having the capabilities within a couple of years with the new technology in there that we can run 40 hogs through that plant an hour. For Alaska, that's monumentally huge. For the rest of the world, they don't even notice we're doing it. They don't. That's the companies that I'm dealing with on this equipment, they're used to making equipment that run between 600 and 1,200 an hour. So they're doing us a favor with our little deal. And they pretty much told me that. We'll do you a favor. We'll help you out. But what it's going to mean to Alaska then, as time goes by, as farmers produce more animals become available. Now there's not a choke point at the packing house. Now we can move those. Your deal, 1,600 sows in there was how many fat hogs? 55,000? 55,000 hogs. You want to do the math? My brain's done with math for the week. I've done so many numbers during the week, I'm done with them for the night. But you can figure that out. If you want to do, if it takes 55,000 fat hogs a year to feed Alaska, just run that back. How many do we have to do an hour to do that? That's very easy to do. That is not a difficult thing for us to do. A little bit of equipment, a little change of process, and pretty soon we're running them through there. The same quality animals into the same box, going right out at the same speed. Might even cut our delivery time down a little bit more, even doing it that way.
There's your time. How quickly